Hey, what's up guys, Matt here. This is the first video in a series I'm going to be calling Opinion. Now I have a lot of opinions about different things here in the tech industry, and I don't really have a place where I can express those to the fullest extent. Usually on Twitter I can say just a little blurb, on Facebook I don't really post there because no one really reads it, and I just don't have a place where I can express these opinions, and I figure a video is the best place to do it, and then in the comments other people can respond, see if they agree, see what they think. And I think that's just the best way to do it. So for this first installment, I'm going to be talking about the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5S. Not so much what I think about the phones themselves, but what I think the new technologies they put in there. Why do they even have a 5C? What's the point of that? Discussing what Apple's motives are behind that, or at least what I think they are. So let's start off with the iPhone 5C. Basically, it's an iPhone 5 inside of a new casing that has colors made out of plastic, but basically it's an iPhone 5. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is just a terrible move on Apple's end, and I just don't understand their thinking of why that is. When you look at a company like Apple, you have to decide what are they doing best, and one of those things is marketing. There's no way they can market an iPhone 5 over a 5S because the 5 is already out. That's the old model. Why would they advertise an iPhone 5 over a 5S? If they only have one model, they're going to advertise the newest one, even though you can buy the older one right now. So making a 5C makes it so much easier for them to advertise so that people will actually buy that model. Now they also added colors, which I think is going to make these phones sell like crazy, and mainly because it's already happened in the past. When you look at the iPod mini, when they came out, that was all in a whole bunch of different colors. It became the most popular iPod. Then after that, the Nano. Once that came in colors, it got even more popular. Now the iPod Touch is coming in colors. I don't know how much popular that made it, but it's definitely going to help in some cases. With the iPhone, I just don't see that being any different. Why would the colors hurt the sales or just stagnate the sales? If anything, it's just going to make the sales go that much higher. Now, the rumor mill was going crazy before this was launched and saying that this was going to be a budget iPhone, and it's clear now that it's not. You can get it on contract here in the US for $99 for a 16GB model and $199 for a 32GB model, and that's really not that much cheaper than the 5S. I think it's like $200 off if you buy it off contract compared to the 5S, which is not that much of a savings compared to a budget phone. So if you get away from thinking that it's a budget phone like the rumors said it was going to be, $99 on contract really is a great price, and I think it's going to help them sell millions. But what it comes down to is that instead of only marketing one phone, now with the 5C they can market two, and I think that's a great strategy on Apple's end. Now we're just going to have to see if it plays out for them. Now moving on to the 5S, there's really nothing surprising here. In fact, every single thing about both these phones has leaked well before it was announced. And I don't really think that matters all that much. That usually happens with the iPhones, and the main reason is because they have to start manufacturing well before they announce it because they know they're going to sell a ton of them. So they already have to have a whole bunch ready to ship because they can't announce it and then release it 6 months later because no one's going to buy an iPhone because they know the new one's already out. It just makes sense that these things will leak out because they're already being made. Now the camera on the iPhone 5S looks like it's going to be awesome. It's still 8 megapixels, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I mean, 13 megapixels, 41 megapixels, it doesn't matter. It matters how much dynamic range you have, how much low light you can get, and hopefully the iPhone 5S has great low light compared to the iPhone 5. Hopefully it's a lot better. Hopefully it's sharper. Hopefully all those things that actually matter are better, not the 8 megapixels. Now the Lumia 1020, which I reviewed a little while ago, is no doubt the best camera on a phone in terms of specs, and it definitely has the possibility to take the best pictures that are capable from a phone. But I find that in everyday shooting and everyday scenarios, it's the iPhone that still takes the best pictures. It still has the best color overall on a general basis. The Lumia 1020 has the ability to take much better pictures, but you have to set all those things up to get that picture. If you just go in the auto mode and snap a picture, it usually looks pretty dull and isn't all that great. It's sharp, sure, but it's not anything special. With the iPhone 5, the colors look vibrant, the contrast is great, the picture just looks overall better for every single picture that you take compared to something like the Lumia 1020. And I'm hoping that the iPhone 5S can build on that and just make it that much better. Now the next big thing is that it is now 64-bit, and really right now this means pretty much nothing. Basically what they're doing is future-proofing their phone so that when everything moves to 64-bit, they don't have to do that. It's already going to be done. Also, there are rumors flying around that there's going to be a MacBook with an ARM processor in it, and if it's 64-bit, it's going to make developing for that a lot easier. Actually, developing for the iPhone is going to be a lot easier with 64-bit, and eventually it's going to make the phones hopefully faster. But right now, it means pretty much nothing. Now, the biggest thing I think is Touch ID. This is a fingerprint scanner in the home button, and it's really gimmicky at this point because no one's ever tested it or used it. For all we know, it could just be one of those things that you're going to turn off because it just doesn't work. But if it does work and they do build on it, I think this could be pretty big, and I can guarantee that every Android phone is going to have it from here on out. The reason I think this is going to be great is because it's going to get rid of passwords, not just for unlocking your phone, but for buying things from the iTunes store, and that's just today. If they open it up to at least developers for third-party apps on the iPhone, then that means I can use it to sign in through all these different social networks and stuff like that. I don't have to worry about entering a password, which is seriously really annoying. I hate entering the password for iOS. That's one of the things I love on Android, is that it remembers my password so I don't have to enter it every time. I just love that. And hopefully this fingerprint scanner is going to alleviate a lot of those annoyances, and hopefully it just builds and gets much better in the future. But for now, it's a pretty big gimmick and just something that they can talk about. But if it does prove itself, I think it's going to be pretty cool. So those are my opinions on the 5C and the 5S and what Apple's doing with those and what their ideas behind it, at least what I think their ideas behind it are. I'm going to be getting both phones, of course, for review here, so stay tuned for that. Let me know how you like this series, the opinion series. Again, everything I've said here is my opinion that I think is going to be happening or is a reason something's happening. This isn't any facts or anything like that. This is just my opinion on something I think. So let me know if you agree in the comments below, and let me know your opinions down there as well. If you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of these videos, hit subscribe so you can see when they're out. I'll see you guys on my next one. See ya.